Okay, guys, we are back for what I'm assuming is the last time. Again, for the Fate route. Um, that's weird. Um, I guess maybe I'll explain plans for the future at the end of the series. Like, once we actually get to like the big finale. Not necessarily like, okay, so there's going to be the finale in quotations, but then there's going to also be the extra bad end episode. But I'll talk about the future at the end of the finale. All right. Like we all get that. We all get that. Cool, 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 cool. So yeah, let's just get into it. The golden sword was swung. She must not even have the energy to raise it back up. Saber keeps her sword and her face down. Slashed up, the man beholds the knight that has defeated him. The sound of wind echoes through the compound. The wave of light, the waves of light like a flood are no more. The two knights share no words as they place themselves in a parting called the battle's end. The man sighs. He raises his weak hand and touches the cheek of the knight in front of him, as if to make sure she exists. You are a hateful woman. You oppose me to the very end. The golden armor starts to fade away, the existence of the king of heroes disappearing. But I shall forgive you. Some things are beautiful because they cannot be obtained. His finger slips. His raised arm falls powerlessly to the ground. And if that is the case, then it was inevitable that I would lose to you. He says it sullenly. And in his final moment, goodbye, King of Knights. It was indeed fun. He smiles ironically and disappears. Sparks fly onto the priest's uniform. The spikes are coming from the dagger in his chest. No chunks of flesh or blood are flying out. But still, the battle here is over as well. He doesn't even look at me. He is just looking down at the dagger in his chest in disbelief. The wind is blowing. The wind coming from the void above eliminates the sounds around it. In the rumbling silence, why did you have this sword? Kodamine murmurs in a clear voice. It's not mine. I borrowed it from Tosaka. How long was he thinking? He sighs, and the body that hasn't moved since the beginning of our confrontation finally moves. I see. There indeed was a time when I gave it to some girl on a whim. I believe it was 10 years ago. I see. No wonder I become weak. He falls. The body of the priest falls to the ground. I watched it all. He's talking about himself like he was someone else until the very end. And the priest sinks into that which he summoned. That which he wished for. That is the end of the man called Kodamine Kirei, and the true end of the long battle. The enemy is gone, and I face the final large task. The black void in the sky. That mud has stopped, but the strange void is still beating. That is the Holy Grail, the omnipotent Grail that would have been given to the winner of this war. There's a wind blowing. Kodamine is gone, and the power binding Ilya must have vanished. Ilya is now free of that void, and she is sleeping by my side. I don't know what condition she's in, but it doesn't seem like her life is in danger. She should wake up fine if I go home and have Tosaka look at her. The war has ended. Nobody else is going to get hurt, and I won't lose anyone else. The masters are gone, and the servants will disappear as their tasks are over. I already knew this was going to happen. We climbed those long stairs together. Our parting is already done. All that's left is to close the curtain. I wait with an empty mind, looking up at that void. As she appears, she walks straight towards me, her figure unchanged since the first time I saw her. She stops close enough that I could reach out to her. There are no words to confirm her safety, or to congratulate her of the victory. Gosh, this music is amazing. This was something that was already decided. There's only one thing left to do. I will destroy the Holy Grail. That is my role. So saying, she starts to walk. The strong winds do not affect her as she approaches it step by step. She must be in range. She quietly raises her sword and looks at the black void. I stare at her back. I clench my fists hard, bite my lips, stifle the words about to come out of my mouth. and engrave her figure into my memory. And then, Master, please give me the order. I cannot destroy it without your order. With her back to me, she tells me to use my last command spell. Saber will disappear once the Holy Grail is destroyed. No, as she will destroy the Holy Grail, she will never again become a servant. Saber became a servant because she sought the Holy Grail. Destroying the Holy Grail out of her own will means destroying her contract as well. If she destroys the Holy Grail, she will end her life as the king. Shiro, I want to hear you say it. Saber's voice. Every time I hear it, I want to scream. To tell her not to go. I want to throw away my pride and scream for her to stay here. But that's something I should not do, even for the sake of my life. I love Saber. I want her to be happier than anyone else, and I want to be with her forever. But if I truly love her, that's wrong. I love Saber as she continued to fight even after getting hurt. She was the girl who discarded everything, was filled with injuries, yet still protected all the way through. If I consider that beautiful, and want to protect it, I cannot destroy her life just for my own selfishness. She was born as a king and lived as a king. That will not change, no matter what. From the time she swore to carry the sword, the girl became a king and nothing else. That is her pride. She ran through the battles so that in her final moments, she would be able to believe her path was the right one. The dreams of the girl Artoria, the mind that chose to be the king over her own life. To fight. Even after she learned it would be unrewarded, she still clasped the sword and defended the oath of the king. For many years, I cannot do anything to dishonor that pride that she has held until the end of her until the time of her death. Saber, please fulfill your role. I say so with a flood of emotions. An overflowing light. The void in the sky is cut in half by the light and disappears without a trace. There's nothing left. The destroyed mountain is now a flat field. Dawn is in the distance. The horizon is shining and gleaming gold. My left hand hurts. My last command spell disappears. That makes me accept that the curtains have been drawn. So, everything is over? Yeah, this is it. There's nothing left. I see. Then our contract is at an end. I became your sword, defeated your enemies, and protected you. I'm glad to have fulfilled this promise. Yeah, you did well, Saber. Nothing more needs to be said. Saber is far away, and I do not run to her. The morning sun rises. The halted wind begins again. A gold that seems to last forever. In it, in the end, there is one thing I must tell you. She says in a voice filled with determination. What is it? I reply like always with my best bluff. Saber's body wavers. She is facing me. She looks straight at me and in a voice without regret. Shiro, I love you. Says those words. Wind blows. I close my blinded eyes and open them again. I don't think there's any surprise. I kind of saw this coming. That our parting would be like this. An open field fills my eyes. As the wind blew, the night disappeared. Just as she appeared, leaving no trace. Yeah, it really is just like you. There are no regrets in my voice. I squint at the rising sun, keeping everything I lost close to my heart. I stare at the horizon, wishing never to forget, and for it to never fade away. A distant land glowing in sunlight, resembling the golden field she ran through. That's not the end, is it? Like, okay, I was about to ask, is there like some kind of epilogue type thing? Gosh, that may be a little teary-eyed, it's fine though. I hear a sound. I hear the sound of the old, heavy rusted door of the shed open. Light comes into the dark shed. I start to wake up. Senpai, are you awake? I don't know why I gave her that kind of accent. I don't even need to check who's here. Oh, so it's time already. Taking a breath, I open my eyes. Good morning, Senpai. It's almost time to wake up. I guess you're right. Morning, Sakura. Thanks for waking me up. No, it's nothing you need to thank me for. I knew you would wake up properly, so I only did a needless thing. I see. Then why did you come to wake me up? I wanted to wake you up today, so I woke up 30 minutes earlier than usual. Today is a special day, you know? Oh? That reminds me. That's right, today is a special day. Sakura, I don't think I even need to ask, but Fujine isn't here yet, right? No. Fujimaru-sensei isn't here yet. Oh, but Ilya is already here. As I thought. Ilya being the only one here means one thing. Crap, sorry, Sakura. Can you take care of breakfast? I'll go wake up Fujine. Oh, yes. Sorry for the trouble, Senpai. Fortunately, I worked late last night as well, so I'm still in my work clothes. It's good I can go outside without having to change. I'll be back in 10 minutes, so I'll leave the rest to you. Yes, please do. Oh, Shiro's awake. Yeah, I just woke up. I wanted to wake gosh, I kind of forgot what both of these characters' voices were. It's been so long since Ilya's been in the story, and it's been way longer since Sakura was in the story. Ugh. Go wake up Fujine, so help Sakura out, will you? Patting Ilya on her shoulder, I head to the front entrance. I got beat! Jeez, I told you I want to wake up Shiro, Sakura! Ilya runs to the shed screaming. Such a scene isn't that unusual now. Ilya said she wouldn't go back to her country, so I consulted Fujine to see if I could keep her at my place. Fujine really objected, said her house was better, and ended up taking Ilya in. Since then, still staying at the Fujimaru house, Ilya comes attacking with Fujine at the morning and at night. Needless to say, their target is breakfast and dinner. It's been 2 months since they started living together, and they seem to be in union now. Yet they didn't come together. When I walk past the shed area, I hear voices over the wall. It's Sakura and Ilya talking. I thought Ilya would not get along with Sakura since Ilya has really unreserved personality, but I was wrong. The two consisting of the energetic Ilya and the quiet Sakura are getting along well, even though they're rather noisy. In fact, Sakura's regaining her spirit because of Ilya. Sakura stopped smiling when her brother Mato Shinji disappeared and was considered missing. She must have vaguely understood the connection with the mass coma incident at the school. She was worried about the missing Shinji and moped for a long time. It was Ilya who forcibly made Sakura get over it, and Sakura gains her cheerfulness when Ilya's around. Yeah, Sakura is able to laugh now. I'm purely happy for that, because that soft smile certainly suits her. You're mean, Ilya. I gave you a special bonus to wake me up no matter what. Fujine scoffs down breakfast while crying. It's only natural. I'll be late too if I wait for Taiga, and I worked enough for what I got paid for. If you want more out of me, you should raise the base pay and not just give me a special pay. Why are you such a misser when you're getting paid from grandfather as well? Everyone would hate you if you're stingy about money for such a young age. I don't care. I don't care if I'm hated. I don't care what people beside the ones I like think of me. And Taiga paid me back the money I let you borrow. Your payday was 5 days ago, right? How did you know that? I heard it from Liga. Oh, Taiga and Liga. I heard from Liga. I can give you the details as well if you wish. Ilya smiles daringly. In contrast to Sakura, Ilya and Fujine do not get along well. And to add, Ilya gets really mean when she faces Fujine. That smile right now is like that of a certain someone. You have until tomorrow to repay me. If you can't, I'll just take it away from your allowance. What? Grandfather told you even that? Yes, we're together all noon. Liga praised me that I'm much cuter than Taiga. What are you going to do about it, Shiro? This girl's such a devil. She'll take over the Fujimaru group if you let her be. Actually, more than that. You were still getting allowances at that age? Bro. Allowances? Come on, I stopped getting that at like 12, come on. See you, Shiro. You're going to be back early today, right? I'll be waiting here, so come home right away. Yeah, I'll try. Take care while I'm gone. You might as well live here, you idiot. Fujine seeks while hiding behind my back. Yeah, you should get yourself together too. You can't cause Shiro trouble outside. Ilya easily turns aside her remark. The power relationship must already be at a position where Fujini can't push back by force. Then I'll be going ahead. But don't walk slow and be late for school. Brrr. Leaving the sound of exhaust, Fujini disappears like a bullet. Fujini got her license a month ago. Since then, her tardiness decreases considerably, but she has received another nickname of Rocket Tiger. I mean, Rocket Diver? That only does... I mean, Rocket Diver. That only she doesn't know about. Ugh. Phew. Oh, it's because she doesn't want to be called Tiger, so Rocket Diver's the technical nickname, whereas Rocket Tiger's the real one. I get you. I stretch out and take a deep breath. Sakura has gone to school already. Seeing how she was eating a large bowl of rice today, it seems like she's in real high spirits. Today is a big day for the archery club. Sakura must be enthusiastic to work as hard as the co-captain of the archery club. Well, let's go to school. Today is April 7th. There's a school entrance ceremony and the season is past the cold winter and already into spring. It's been 2 months since then. It feels like a lot has changed since she has gone away. But I think the changes are trivial. Winter ended and spring came. That's all that changed. I feel like I've grown up a bit, but it's not like that caused me to be any different. So not much has changed. Miyashiro is clumsily running after Kuritsugu as always. Good morning, Amiya. It's unexpected to see you in the morning. Hey, it sure is a good day today, Tosaka. I raise my hand and greet her. But is it really unexpected? We're barely missing each other recently. Well, I certainly didn't come across you too many times before. Come across? Tosaka glares at me if unhappy about something. I don't think it's good to send an aura of enmity first thing in the morning. Tosaka, did you change the time you leave your house? You came later before, right? You came at a time that wasn't too late or too early. That's not true, but it's only coincidence that we didn't see each other until now. Do you know? My house and your house are on the exact opposite locations. If we get up and go down the hill, it's only natural that we'd meet here. Oh. That's the first time I've heard about that. I see. That would be certainly... Wait, hold on. That's only if we do the same things around the same time. For Tosaka to come to this intersection at this time, we'd have to get up at 6. But that's... Tosaka, you're not sleepy? I ask her directly. What do you mean by that? I'm not sleepy nor pushing myself. Why do you ask such a thing? Well, you weren't a morning person. You'll unmask your true self if you go to school with lack of sleep. It'll be terrible if you fall asleep during class. I bet you'll rage around with a face like an awakened demon if someone tries to wake you up. Like, I will kill all that disturb my sleep kind of thing. I won't do such a thing. I won't make such a mistake just by waking up 30 minutes early. See, you did wake up early. Jeez, quit worrying about when other people get up. If you have time to inquire about such boring things, just go to school. Tosaka gets angry while looking away. Her excuse is plausible, so I stop my greeting here, and we resume our way to school. We go up the hill. The streets and houses below me have all changed to show the coming of spring. The wind is comfortable, and the cherry blossom flowers flutter down occasionally from the school on top of the hill. Everything that can be seen and felt is pleasant. Do you have work all this week? I won't complain since it's your time, but don't you get sick like that? No, I got today off. I heard that the archery club is doing a welcome party for the new members, so I'm thinking of going with Ilya. Wow, you have some great guts. You're a big shot if you're taking Ilya to school with an unconcerned face. Is it bad? I think it'll let Ilya kill some time, and it should make her happy. It is bad. It's bad, but I guess I'll show up as well then. It won't be boring if Ilya's going to be there. And most of all, I just can't leave her alone because it's too dangerous. I'm thankful that she says that. It's Tosaka, not Sakura or me, that understands Ilya the most. There's the fact that she periodically takes care of Ilya, but more importantly, Ilya and Tosaka are natural-born Magi. I think Tosaka would be a good teacher for Ilya, as she doesn't quite realize what it's like to live as a Magus while hiding that fact. Thus, things are settling into the way they should be. The damage from the Holy Grail War is almost completely restored by the new priests dispatched by the Church, and her everyday life has returned without problems. There are certainly things that were lost and will not return, but the wounds have slowly healed, and I should be happy about the regrets fading away. But it was unexpected. And then, Tosaka murmurs in a serious tone while looking down at the town below her. What was unexpected? Yeah, I thought you would be more depressed. I thought you wouldn't be able to get over it for a while. This is about the girl that isn't here anymore. It's been 2 months since then. It's about the golden-haired girl that we talked about for the first time since then. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was about to go insane just thinking about the future. But it turns out you didn't change after that. You didn't even get depressed as if you were fine the next day. At that time, I wondered if you were really alright. I can't put this into words real well, but you had the atmosphere of a guy that would die in an accident the next day. What is that? Why would I easily die when I'm doing well? Things like that happen. When people accomplish their lifelong goals by mistake, they can suddenly die. The instant they think like, oh, I don't think I need to live anymore, cars run into them, running red lights, and they fall downstairs. Okay. Tosaka's metaphor is difficult to understand. She might want to say something about peaceful death and going to heaven or something. So I was worried about that. At times like that, people around you feel more relief if you get really depressed. Oh, and would you have comforted me if I was depressed? Of course not. I would have kicked you in the back and made you get over it. I'm just saying that it's a bit disappointing since I couldn't do that. She looks away in displeasure. Her gesture looks so funny that I laugh. What? Was it strange? No, it was a strict line, surely fitting you, so I feel relieved. We both walk on, looking up at the spring sunlight. The hill is long, and it looks like as if it will continue on into the endless blue sky. And, as if saying something trifling, then you don't have any regrets, with Saber gone and all. Tosaka murmurs while looking up at the sky. No, I probably don't have any regrets. It's not a bluff, and I say so with a calm state that even surprises me. There is no regret, and I don't have anything I forgot to tell her. That parting contained everything. What I wanted to do, what she dreamed of. It was a competition of our determination, and maybe I should have taken her hand and granted her dream. But there was something we both felt was beautiful, and we desperately protected it until the very end. There's nothing to feel regret about, as she has properly ended her time. I cannot remain in this reminiscence forever. I see. And you've concluded this inside you already? So that's why you're not depressed or filling yourself with reminiscence. Yeah, but I still dream about it. I'll recall her for the rest of my life. My memory will fade away someday, and I will forget about her voice and her gestures. But still, I'll remember her forever that this thing occurred to me, and that I love Saber. Tosaka doesn't say anything, but for some reason she looks happy and starts to walk as if she's skipping. What's going on, Tosaka? Did something happen to make you hurry? It's nothing. I just want to get to school quickly. Let's hurry. I'll leave you behind if you're slow. Turning around, Tosaka starts running up the hill. What is she doing? Pushing herself when she's not a morning person. Grumbling, I'll throw the bag over my shoulder and start to run. It's still 7:30. It's too early a time for a student not involved in any club activities. But I guess there's nothing wrong with being early. Running up the road that seems to go up into the sky, I reach the school earlier than usual. Today is the day the new year starts. If I am to celebrate it, I have to shake off my old memories and hurry up. Traces will never go away, even if I almost cry from the vacancy hitting my heart. Blue sky is in the distance. It feels so close, yet I cannot grab it even if I reach out with my hands. I looked up at the stars before, stars that I cannot reach and wishes that will not be granted. There's nothing we have been able to leave behind for each other. Therefore, traces and memories will disappear someday. But still, even if it will not reach her, there should be something that will remain in our hearts. There is nothing that remains in our hands, but we lived at the same time and looked up at the same things. If I remember that, I can believe that we can be together even if we are far apart. I can assent that there are things that will go away, and there are also things that will not go away. That is why I will keep running for now. If I aim for the distance, there should come a day when I will be able to reach out to what I've been aiming for. Winter has passed and it is spring, the season of new beginnings. Under the blue sky that she has also seen, keep running up the hill. The battle has ended. Her last battleground, the battle that was fought between the split halves of her country, ended with the king's victory. The night is running. The battle has ended. The bloody red sun has already set, and the darkness of the night is already ruling over the battlefield. The hill, covered with corpses, is filled with curses, crying out to try to take the survivors with them. Through it all, the knight runs panting. A rein is in the knight's hand, and the wounded white horse earnestly follows him. The only survivors are this knight and this horse, and this one king that is lying on the white horse's back. Your Highness! King Arthur, please come this way! He must be wounded himself, but the knight runs through the battlefield with all his energy. The king he is serving is on the verge of death. The king has defeated the enemy's king in personal combat, but the king received a fatal wound as well. The wound is fatal even in the knight's eyes. The king that they have served will soon reach death. Please, get a hold of yourself. If we can reach that forest, we shall certainly... He desperately calls out. Or possibly the knight might even really believed it. That their king is immortal. That as long as the guidance of the holy sword is there, the king would never die. He breathes hard, passes over the mountains of corpses, and heads for the forest that is not covered in blood. He knew of the king's immortality. Therefore, he believes that the king's wound will heal if he escapes this cursed battlefield and makes it to a pure place. No, he could only believe so. He believed his own king unlike the other knights. The king was isolated in the court, alienated by the knights, and was feared by the people. But the king did not show emotion, even in such a situation, and always stayed as an ideal, and the knight felt pride in his young king. He did not serve his country. He had entrusted his sword, struggled to be of power, and made his way to be a personal guard of the king as a young man, because it was this king, the masked king, the boy who tried to allow no personal feelings and to be fair. He might have hoped to be able to see the king's true face if he went near the king. He just wanted to see the king's true expressions, not the face he puts on during battle or in the castle, but a real smiling face of a human. It should appear in the court when he has been released from his duties. No matter how perfect a king is, he cannot strain his mind 24 hours a day. That thinking proved wrong. The only thing he found out was the truth contrary to his expectations. He has made it to the rank of Imperial Guard and was able to guard beside the king. He has guarded the king closer than any other knights, and kept watch on the knight and the king's behavior. But still, it did not happen even once. His king never smiled. Since when did he feel anger toward it? The king has accomplished so many great deeds and has accrued much glory. But in fact, the king never showed a peaceful face. Cannot approve of that fact. He wanted to believe such a thing should not be allowed. That is why he wished for his king to be awarded the light. But he has yet to accomplish that. The king is still isolated. That is why the knight continuously did not approve of the king's death. He cannot end it here. He thinks that this great king is not rewarded enough for his actions. Your Highness, please stay here. I shall get someone right away. In the forest, he reaches. The knight lays the king by a large tree. The situation is race against time. It takes half a day, no matter how much he hurries to go to the port where his own army is left. Anyone with eyes should be able to tell if the king's life will last till morning or not. Please endure until then. I shall certainly bring our troops here. He salutes the unconscious king and runs to his white horse. Bedivere. Before that, the king that should have been unconscious calls out his name. Your Highness, have you regained consciousness? Yes, I was watching a dream. Faint voice, but that voice seems warm to the knight. A dream? He calls out as if to search. The king's consciousness is not certain. He shall go back into the darkness unless he replies so. Yes, I have not seen many dreams, so I had a valuable experience. That is great. Then please be at ease and rest. I shall go get the troops in that time. A gasping sound. It sounds as if what the knight said was unexpected. Your Highness, have I been rude? No, I was just surprised at your point. I did not know a dream could be seen after one awakens. Are you saying I'll be able to see the same dream if I close my eyes again? Now it's the knight's turn to be surprised. He stutters but replies, even though he knows it's a lie. Yes, it's technically not a lie. You can. I've been able to go back into dreams after waking up. And then just going back to bed. Yes, if you strongly desire so, you should be able to continue watching the same dream. I have that experience as well. Such thing is not possible. What happens only once and not continuously is what people call a dream. The knight lies in spite of that. He apologizes that this will be the first and last dishonesty he will perform towards the king. Until fate grand order. I see. You are knowledgeable, Bedivere. The king murmurs as if impressed. His face is still looking down, and he does not even look up at the knight. The king breathes so softly that can barely be heard. And quietly, Bedivere, take my sword. The king gives his last orders in a faint voice. Pass through this forest, and go over that blood-stained hill. There is a deep lake beyond it. Throw my sword into that lake. Your Highness, that is... The knight knows what that means. The sword of the lake. To let go of that sword would be proof of the king, and what protected the king means the end of the king he has served. Go. Once you've accomplished my orders, return here and tell me what you saw. The king does not take back his order. The knight takes the holy sword and goes over that hill with his indecision still in mind. And the knight hesitates, returning the sword for 3 times. The lake was certainly there, but he just could not throw the sword in it. If he throws the sword in, his king will disappear. The knight is unable to throw away the sword from his unwillingness to part with the king, and the knight turns around and returns to the king. The king repeats to the knight. As the knight lies to the king that he has thrown away the sword, the king only replies, "Follow his command." To obey the king's command is a great sin. To disobey the king's command is a great sin for a knight. But still, he disobeyed the king's orders twice. He was reluctant for the king's life when he faced the lake. But that comes to an end. As the knight figures out he cannot change the king's decision, he throws the sword into the lake on his 3rd visit. The holy sword returns to the lake. A white hand appearing from the water receives the sword, and after going through the sky 3 times, the holy sword vanishes from this world. And the knight finally accepts it. The king's end. That the duty was too long has finally ended. After crossing the hill 3 times, the forest is covered in morning sunlight. The battlefield is afar. In the pure light, mist that does not show any traces of a bloody battle. I have thrown the sword into the lake. The sword has returned to the lady of the lake. The king opens his eyes at the knight's words. I see. Then you shall be proud. You have obeyed your king's command. The knight nods silently to the voice facing death. Everything has ended. Chaos in his country would still continue. The battle will not end, and the day of ruin will come around soon. But the battle of the king has ended. She has fulfilled her duty until the very last moment. The light disappears. Finishing her tasks has her last strength disappeared from her body. I'm sorry, Bedivere. This sleep will be long. As going to sleep slowly, she gradually closes her eyes. The morning sunlight fills the area. The forest stands there quietly, and his king goes into a long sleep. The knight keeps watching over her figure. The king that he wished for. A lonely knight that was seen off by just one night. A lonely king that was seen off by just one night. But her face is what he wished for. A peaceful sleep. In her last moments, the king has obtained the peace that she has never been able to obtain. He was just happy about that fact. The knight thanks the someone who has given her peace and proudly watches over his king. The heaven is far and the clearing sky is blue. The battle is truly ended. Are you watching, King Arthur? His murmur rides through the wind, as if sinking into the endless blue, and the king that went to sleep. The continuation of the dream sees a distant dream. A battle has been fought and is now over. Place your sword upon the ground and rest in the temporal peace. After dozing in the warmth of a dream, a new day will begin. The days keep passing by, and we will still chase the same star we once saw. Okay. Okay, well, I guess that's the end of the Fate route. What an amazing time that was. Like, I was actually, when the first, 13 episodes of this, oh, sorry, bumped the desk. During the first, 13 episodes of this, I was like, I might be canceling the series a little earlier than I thought, because it's just not that good. And then it would get super good, and then it would get a little bad, and then it would get super good, and it would get, a little bad again. And then it would get amazing, and then it'd get amazing, and then it'd get amazing over and over, and, just what an amazing time that was. With all the spoilers that I had heard for it, it kept me surprised at, almost every turn. Well, not necessarily, surprised, but just, intrigued at, every turn. I love Mirror Moon adding in his little logo there. But, yeah, I just can't even put into words, that was just a good story overall. Of course, I do have, my few gripes with it, but... Oh, these are all the people that did the translations. That's awesome. Shout out to literally everyone here. None of this would be possible without them. Without this team and people just in general willing to, go through so much hard work. Purely out of passion. We wouldn't be able to experience, stuff like this without, learning an entirely new language, and one of the hardest languages, apparently, that you could learn. So that is amazing. But yeah, the plans for the future of the series. I plan to do 2 things, essentially, before I start with the UBW. First, I'm going to compile all of these episodes into 7 super long parts. Just so then if someone wants to, watch the Fate series, wants to, experience the visual novel, they don't have... I'm probably also going to make a different playlist for it. It's just going to be labeled The Complete Series, like Fate Stay Night, visual novel complete, something like that. And just so then, people won't have to be, intimidated by, the 8, because this is episode 81. So they won't have to be, overwhelmed with 81 episodes. I can, just cut it down into 7 really, really long ones. So those will be taking the place for the episodes from, the normal time, essentially, up until that's over. And then after that, I do want to read the Please Be Happy demo. I want to finish that, because I started it, and just didn't finish it, just because I realized that if I keep changing oh, this week will be Fate, or this week will be Please Be Happy, or if I don't upload 3 Fates a week, it's just going to take so long to finish, and nobody would want that, So I am going to do those 2 things, and then we will just jump into UBW. And then at the end of UBW, it's going to be the same thing, where I will do the complete series, and then I'm probably going to, if by that time Please Be Happy is done, the full game is released, I will be reading that. And if you guys are at all interested in other visual novels, then check it out. Please Be Happy, it's such a good experience, so far. I have zero issues with it at all so far. It's such a cute little story. The art is great, the music is amazing. It's fully voiced in English through and through, which is awesome. Well, it's not fully voiced, but when the characters are speaking to each other, it's fully voiced in English, which is cool. And yeah, it's just a really pleasant time. So if you guys are interested in watching other visual novels, then please do check that out. Just because I like just reading, I just like doing what I enjoy on this channel, and Fate is a big part of that. After UEW and Heaven's Feel, I do plan to read Hollow Ataraxia as well. But at the same time, eventually, Fate content's gonna run out, my guys. We can't keep the Fate train going forever. I want to, we consume these things much faster than it's made, you know what I mean? The only way I'd be able to have, a near infinite amount of Fate stuff is if I started reading Grand Order from the very beginning. Which, no, I'm not doing that. That would be so long. And I've already experienced all of it in its format, essentially. So, whereas with UBW and Heaven's Feel, I haven't experienced it in visual novel form, and I've heard that it's not necessarily very different, but there's so much just more to the visual novels. So yeah, that is my current plan. And one of the also big reasons I want to do the complete series is not only does it make it easier for people to catch up and just experience the visual novel in general, again with it being less intimidating, it also allows me to have about like slightly over 2 weeks like of a break essentially from not having to worry about like recording and like all this kind of stuff. Like it like gives me like a chance to like get ahead essentially, which is really important for someone like me who doesn't do YouTube as like a job and just does it as a pure hobby, that kind of stuff. So it'll give me about, again, like 2 weeks, 1 day to record some videos and get those up for everybody. So yeah, with that being said, we'll probably be starting UBW, and I don't think the demo would be too long. It's a demo. So we'll probably be starting UBW, and I would probably say about a month to like 2 months time, you know? So hopefully you guys can all stick with me during that time while I'm not uploading Fate. I'm saying this just mostly because like Fate is by far the most popular stuff that I do, which I really appreciate the support that the series garners. I do actually want to check one last thing before we go. Just a little update. I wanted to pull this up, but I wasn't expecting it to just not. It didn't end like abruptly, but I got like so caught up in it that I like didn't prepare properly. Where is my? I should just check my YouTube Studio app. Oh, I lost a subscriber. I got up to 50. Now I'm only down to 49 again. That sucks. Oh, I have a comment that I've been meaning to respond to. Oh, gosh darn it. I feel really bad about that. I've been meaning to respond to it for a long time. Is there a way to just check my, like, most popular video? Views. Yep. My, Fate Stay Night episode 48, the Henty episode, is the most viewed video on my channel with 2,800 views. Absolutely astounding. Outside of that, the views range from anywhere from like 1 to like a couple hundred, but that one was just like, hold my beer, here's a couple thousand. That is so funny to me. Also, I guess with talking about like how Fate stuff's eventually going to run out, I also do want to read his other works. Like, I want to read Tsukihime. I really want to read the remake just because the art is so beautiful in that game. Like, it just looks like, you know, current Takeuchi, which is just phenomenal. He's one of my favorite artists, so I really want to read that game. With the remake, and the translation is currently being very hard worked on. So honestly, maybe when that's done, maybe that would be like a break between, I don't know, like one of the Fate things. I don't know how long it's gonna take. It's a lot of hard work that can never be understated. How hard these people are essentially working for free. So like they can take all the time in the world, and I'll just read it whenever it's ready. And then there's also Garden of Sinners. I'm pretty sure that's novels. I don't know if I'll read that for the channel. But if enough, I'll probably bring this up a couple more times at a, like, not at the end of a 43-minute long video, but maybe I'll bring it up a couple other times and see if people are interested in reading the Garden of Sinners novels. Also, I really think it'd be fun to read Fate Zero, the novel, and basically do like a little audiobook series, you know? I think that could be a lot of fun. But, yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. So with that being said, let's see what happens after Finn. Try again from the night of the third day. Okay. So yeah, I guess with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.